Alrighty guys, who's down for another coaster fight? This is between two Vekoma roller coasters. This is between Blue Hawk and the Great Nor'easter. Blue Hawk is located at Six Flags Over Georgia, and the Great Nor'easter is located at Maurice Piers. These are both Vekoma coasters that used to suck, but however, they've gotten better with the coaster enthusiast community, so I just feel like it would just be awesome just to compare these two coasters. So, without further ado, let's get started. First up is the height category, and they're both like around the same range, but Blue Hawk is actually taller. Blue Hawk is 122 feet versus Great Nor'easter, which has a height of 115 feet. So, but they're both getting 3s because they're both around the same range. Next up is the drop, and both are getting 5s. They're both about kind of average. Blue Hawk's drop is alright. Same with Great Nor'easter. It's nothing special, so I'm gonna give both a 5. Next up is speed, and Blue Hawk goes about 51 miles per hour, and Great Nor'easter is around like same 51 miles per hour. So I'm gonna give both 5s. They're both about average. Next up is layout, and Blue Hawk has a pretty interesting layout. What I like about Blue Hawk, like Blue Hawk's layout is kind of standard. However, one of the coolest things is that like there's so much head choppers in Blue Hawk. There's so many head choppers that there's a lot of moments on Blue Hawk where your head just feel like it'll just get chopped off. It is pretty cool. And then also some of the elements are pretty amazing, but we'll get to that later. And Great Nor'easter is just standard for SLC. However, it's not bad like the other two SLCs I've ridden. Which we'll get to that in the next category. So, but they're both getting 7s. Next up is actually the smoothness category. Now, Great Nor'easter, yes, it's a Vekoma SLC, so it's not going to be glossy smooth. And I didn't think it was glossy smooth, but however, it was much, much smoother than the other two SLCs I've done, so I'm giving it a 7. And then Blue Hawk is getting an 8. Now, Blue Hawk, if we were judging it based off like some of the straight sections, it would have gotten a 10 right off the bat. Because I found Blue Hawk to be one of the smoothest Vekomas, believe it or not. And this coaster probably would have gotten a 1 back if it were still called the Ninja. Same with Great Nor'easter, they probably would have both gotten 1s. However, Blue Hawk has just got a lot better. Like in 2016, they did some track improvements to the coaster, so that's why it's so much smoother than it was once. I never rode it as Ninja, but I know a lot of people who have, especially my dad, and they all hated it. But now all the enthusiasts are thinking it's a lot better than it once was. And also, you don't get any head banging because it has the vest restraints. We'll get to that later once we get to the restraints category. So I'm giving Blue Hawk an 8. Next up is transitions, and this is one thing with Blue Hawk that I was kind of a little disappointed by, was the transitions. Yes, it wasn't bad, but however, it was still just a little jerky, so I'm giving it a 7. And Great Nor'easter's was kind of jerky as well. Now, keep in mind, I did ride it in the back row in the Great Nor'easter. I rode towards the back, so that could have been why. But, they were both pretty good for transitions. Some Vekomas just really jerk you, but these are not those roller coasters. These are nice. Let's move on to elements category, and Blue Hawk's getting a 7. Now, I like Blue Hawk's elements. Blue Hawk has some good elements. Like, the butterfly roll is kind of cool, and that, Sidewinder element, I like that, and then the double corkscrew is pretty cool. Some of the elements will jerk you into. You'll get jerked around a little bit in some of the elements, but it's not bad. But that's why I'm giving it a 7. And Great Nor'easter is getting a 7. They're kind of standard, however, they are forceful. That's one thing that'll give advantage to the Great Nor'easter, but we'll get to that later once we hit the intensity category. So yeah, Great Nor'easter is getting a 7 as well. They're much, much more enjoyable than the other two SLCs. So yeah, that's definitely an advantage for Great Nor'easter. Next, let's move on to intensity, believe it or not, and this is what surprised me on both these roller coasters. They were both intense. Blue Hawk, I rode Blue Hawk about 3 times when I was at Six Flags over Georgia. I'm dead serious, by the way. But and I rode it. Two of the rides I had were in the back, and the back row is actually pretty forceful. So, which is kind of surprising. I was not expecting those forces, and yeah. So Blue Hawk's getting an 8, and then Great Nor'easter, because your head's not getting smacked around repeatedly, it made the versions much more tolerable, and you can feel the intensity a lot more. So Great Nor'easter is getting an 8 as well. Great Nor'easter was pretty intense as well. Both these coasters, they are both intense. Let's move on to duration, and Blue Hawk's about 1 minute 20, which is about average, so I'm giving it a 5. And then Great Nor'easter is about 2 minutes 5 seconds, so I'm giving Great Nor'easter a 7, which is a little bit longer than Blue Hawk, but yeah, so I'm giving those are the scores for the two coasters. Next, let's move on to pacing. And these coasters both have some pretty good pacing. Blue Hawk had some great pacing, so did Great Nor'easter. I felt like it was about equal with both of these coasters. There might be a slight difference, but however, I'm giving both an 8 for the pacing. Well done. Next, let's move on to, theming. Ugh, I hate when it does that. Let's move on to theming. And then Blue Hawk is getting a 1. And so is the Great Nor'easter. They both have basically no theming. There might be a slight theme with like Blue Hawk's kind of theme to the military, I guess. I don't know. Great Nor'easter, I don't know what a Nor'easter is. Maybe it's kind of like maybe a hurricane, but it doesn't have anything. So I'm just gonna give both 1s. Next up is the restraints, and both have the vest restraints, which are nice. They're not like the best restraints I've ever had, but they're good. So I'm giving both an 8. And let's move on to the final category, which is the setting. And Blue Hawk's getting an 8. What I like about Blue Hawk's setting is that it's over water, which is one of the coolest things about Blue Hawk. Like most of the rides, you're just over water. It's really pretty, and plus this is probably the most beautiful roller coaster at Six Flags Over Georgia. So I'm giving that an 8. And then in Great Nor'easter, it's next to a beach. That's like the best coaster setting ever. If it's next to a beach, you sure as bet, like heck, I'd give it a 10, like right off the bat. Like, I love coasters that are next to beaches, and this is no exception. And we do have a winner, and taking the cake as our winner is the Great Nor'easter at Maurice Piers. Congratulations, you have beat Blue Hawk, which is kind of odd seeing an SLC beat another roller coaster because no one likes Vekoma SLCs. However, to all those people who dread SLCs so much, I'd recommend giving this ride a shot because it's not bad, because it has those soft restraints which eliminate any head banging and any pain possible, making the ride just a lot more tolerable. And I would even agree that it's better than Blue Hawk. Both rides are fun. I like both. I like Great Nor'easter and Blue Hawk. However, I just found that Great Nor'easter is the superior coaster. So that will do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment down below which one do you prefer. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more videos and more coaster fights and other videos in the future. Also, don't forget to check out the social media link, which will be in the description below. I will see you guys next time. Have a theme-tacular day.